Dr. Lauren Carter sat quietly in her cozy office, surrounded by shelves of books, soft lamplight, and potted greenery that gave the space a warm, inviting atmosphere. A small water fountain in the corner offered a soothing trickle, helping ease the tension that often accompanied the stories shared within these walls. On her desk lay the open file of her newest patient, 16-year-old Camille Johnson. Camille's case struck a deeper chord than most. With over a decade of experience working with adolescents, especially those from underrepresented backgrounds, Dr. Carter thought she had seen it all, but something about Camille felt different. He was bright, articulate on paper, with an undeniable spark of potential, yet also burdened by a quiet heaviness that had begun to consume his spirit. His mother had reached out 3 weeks earlier, her voice trembling over the phone as she described the changes in her son. Falling grades, sleepless nights, and a disturbing silence that replaced his once curious voice. Camille had always been one of the few black students at his predominantly white high school, and while he never complained openly, his mother had recently discovered he'd been bullied, cruel words, whispered threats, isolation. The school administration had dismissed it as typical teenage conflict. But Dr. Carter knew better. As the hour struck 3, she adjusted the soft throw pillows on the couch across from her and double-checked her notes. The door creaked softly, and Camille entered. He was tall and lean, with tense shoulders and eyes that flicked toward the floor. Behind him, his mother lingered for a moment, her worry etched into every line of her face before she offered a weak smile and retreated to the waiting area. "Hi, Camille," Dr. Carter greeted, her voice gentle. "I'm Dr. Carter, but you can call me Lauren if that feels more comfortable." He gave a small nod, barely meeting her gaze. His arms were crossed tightly over his chest, his expression unreadable. "Why don't you have a seat?" she offered, motioning to the soft chair opposite her own. Camille sat down slowly, still keeping his eyes averted. Dr. Carter knew not to press, not yet. Instead, she began to share a little about herself, something that had helped build trust in the past. "I became a therapist because I grew up seeing how hard it can be for people to carry their pain alone," she said, her tone warm but sincere. "Especially kids who feel invisible. Or misunderstood." Still no response. Just a flicker of something in his eyes, recognition, maybe. She paused, allowing the silence to settle without tension. Silence, she had learned, could be sacred. A space where something unspoken might breathe. Over the next few sessions, Camille rarely spoke more than a few words. But Dr. Carter noticed the small shifts. He began sitting slightly straighter. His eyes would occasionally meet hers. He laughed, once, at a joke she made about her terrible cooking. Then one afternoon, as the clouds outside darkened the room, Camille finally spoke. "It's like I can't breathe at school," he said, voice low and tight. "They don't say it to my face all the time, but I feel it. The way they look at me. Like I don't belong. Like I'm dangerous. Or stupid. And the teachers, they act like it's all in my head." Dr. Carter leaned in, her voice steady. "Camille, what you're feeling is real. And it's not your fault. None of this is your fault." Tears slipped quietly down his cheeks, and he didn't bother to hide them. From that day forward, their sessions changed. Camille began to open up. About the pressure to succeed, the fear of confirming stereotypes, the shame of feeling weak, and the nights he'd stared at the ceiling wondering if the world would be better without him in it. But he also began to rediscover parts of himself, his love of sketching, his fascination with astronomy, and his desire to one day build something bigger than himself. With Dr. Carter's guidance, he started journaling, drawing again, even joining a local youth group led by other young black creatives. Camille's journey wasn't linear, healing never is. There were setbacks, rough weeks, and moments where the darkness crept back in. But slowly, steadily, he reclaimed his voice. By the end of that school year, he stood on stage at a local youth summit, sharing his story, nervous, shaking, but proud. In the front row, his mother clutched tissues and smiled through her tears. And beside her, Dr. Carter watched, her heart full. Camille wasn't just surviving anymore. He was living.